Salutations Space Cadets, and thank you so much for landing back on my channel. For today's mission, we'll be going over the patch notes for August 29th, 2023 for DC Dual Force. Now, I can't speak as loud as I would like to because it's actually 2:30 a.m. in the morning right now, and I'd rather not wake up any of my neighbors. But we have a pretty big patch going on here. Remember, this is not, just saying, this is not a balanced patch, so don't come in expecting it. But I'm going to give you the guys the TLDR about it, and then I'm going to show you the full post from Ben Stroll that's going to be coming out soon. And I'll link the doc version of these patch notes in the description down below. And then once the official ones get released, I will release them, I'll update the description for it. But yeah, let's go over the TLDR. I'll tell you about the general changes, the gameplay changes, and the big one. So we'll start off with the big one here. So daily and weekly quests are coming to DC Dual Force starting, well, later on today. So yeah, as you do these quests, completing a daily quest will award you with 1,000 dual coins, while completing a weekly quest will award you with 4,000. And at the start of each week, these things will refresh. So same thing and then daily for the the daily quest as well. And you'll get 3 available to you at any given time. But if you just let them sit there, like you have to skip a day, you just can't play, then they will not stack. You'll hit a cap at 3, and you'll just lose them. So make sure you at least get them in enough so you don't lose them, but things like games versus AI, comic adventures, unranked matchmaking, rank ladder coming soon, by the way, they specifically mentioned it's coming soon, so get prepared for that, are all viable game modes, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing that it won't work for is like you do a friendly battle with your friends, you're not going to be able to farm the daily quest and weekly quest there, so it has to be like an actual mode. All right, also they want to make sure that these can be easily done, like just by playing the game. Like they don't want to make it like, oh, get Jimmy Olsen to 300 attack. Like they don't want you to do any of that. They just want to make it just nice and simple. They don't want to make it too specific. And they said that, they might be willing to budge on that in the future if people want something to work towards, like special challenges and stuff like that. But for right now, they want to focus on things that are simple, that can easily be done just by playing the game, which I think is pretty nice. It's not a lot of people have a lot of time to play games, especially the way that, at least in America, the way that things are set up, everyone's poor, so we gotta have like 50 jobs, so we don't have a lot of time to play a ton of games. But so that's nice to know. As well as you're able to re-roll these quests, just in case there's like some quests you just like, oh, I hate doing this quest, or like, I don't really play like this faction too much, so I want to re-roll it. So that's nice as well. Now, as for the gameplay side of things that are of note, there's more changes than this, but I'm just noting like the most ones that I think don't have the biggest impact. Shield recruits that will return to your hand now correctly have shield when played again, because it's kind of annoying. Like you lose shield. I don't know if this counts as in like if you lose shield and it gets back to your hand. I don't think it's gonna get shield once you replay it, but it's as if it gets like bounced to your hand from like a rest and it already has shield. It won't lose it as you're playing it again. I think that's how it's meant to be said. As well as Batwing no longer incorrectly has buffs when returned via grappling gun. So whenever you grappling gun your Batwing ended up getting the buff. I thought that was intentional. It makes sense. So I didn't really say, oh, doesn't seem like this should work this way. It was strange, but I could see that it would work that way. So it's nice to know that was actually a bug. Also, aura no longer incorrectly prevents attack damage if the attack was initiated with an action. So say you use something like possession on a recruit, and then it hits something with aura, but then it would just take no damage. So now, or I mean, no, but it would still take the damage, I think. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but now it works how it's intended, and the unit should die. The aura is not gonna block it. Yeah, there we go. That's how I felt like. I had used possession. I was like, wait, that blocks it. Doesn't this count as an actual attack? But yeah, it was weird. But also, Kyle Rayner's Construct Kaiju will now correctly trigger Black Adam's ability. So, I mean, Kyle Rayner is not really the best lantern there is, but it could be nice to have it. Like you play like a buffed up Kyle Rayner that gets up to a 5 attack, and then or above, and then you play Construct Kaiju, then that's 2 triggers for your Black Adam, which is really nice. So for the Lantern 5 deck, I'll try to link that video in the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, you can do Black Adam, Green Lantern, and you can have it. You can get them pretty high and charge up Black Adams pretty quickly. So now, as for the general fixes, fix for the decks becoming invalid after an update. So it's kind of annoying. Like I don't know if this counts towards when you're like getting a deck code, and then you go to play a match, and it's like, oh, you actually don't own all these cards, and you get to resave it. Yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what it is. I don't know if it's just like, or if you just make it a change into your deck, and sometimes it doesn't, it says your deck is invalid. I don't know if it's only specifically fixing that, but hopefully it's the one where like you're copying a deck code, and then it's just like, oh, sorry, you don't actually own all these cards, even though you clearly do. Also the one with various animations playing out of order. So yeah, sometimes when you're like, I don't know, I guess when you're playing too quickly, like if you do Harley's ability and then Zatan's ability, sometimes Zatan's ability will play first before Harley's. You know, that's just like a general example, but like any of the cards, sometimes that happens. It's weird. I've had that before. Also, fixed a game slowdown issue that caused by rapidly attacking. So yeah, if you attack too fast, the game would just like, oh, are we playing the game? Is the game bugged? Did the game crash? What's going on? So luckily that has been fixed as well. But yeah, that's the TLDR. If you're just here just for that information, well, there you go. Hey, don't forget to like the video and subscribe before you on your way out. But now we're gonna go over the actual posts from Ben Stoll themselves, so he goes more in depth about the daily and weekly quest and their philosophies of it. So yeah, if you're interested in that, we'll be going over that right now. All right, okay, so let's read out the post from Ben Stoll talking about the daily and weekly quest. I'm going to read what their thoughts behind it, what exactly is coming, a little bit more in depth. All right, let's read this bar for bar. All right, Ben Stoll here to talk to you about the daily and weekly quest system in DC Dual Force. This system is designed to reward you for your playtime and help you build your collection via dual coins. Up until now, you've only been able to earn coins through match play, so the quest system should significantly bolster your ability to earn coins just by playing, which has always been our intention for the completed game. There are two types of quests that are always available to all players: daily quest and weekly quest. Completing a daily quest will reward you with 1,000 coins, while completing a weekly quest will reward you for 4,000 coins. So I don't they never really talked about if the beta bonanza bonus is still in effect. So if that is still in effect and you're getting like 600 for your first first 4 wins, and 200 after all your wins after that, including the 1,000 that you get from the daily quest and the 4,000 you get there, you're gonna be getting a lot of quests fast. So for all those players that are really just hoping, all the free to play players, like, I just need something, like everyone just had so almost complete collections for the people to pay, and I'm just like, I played almost every day and I feel like I'm not nowhere close. Well, this is for you. All right, the daily quests are implicitly designed to most heavily reward our most dedicated players who complete every last one that they manage to find time for a play session at least once every 3 days, while the weekly quests are to make sure we still have rewards for those folks who may find it harder to play as regularly. At the start of each week, you'll get a new weekly quest and will have an entire week to complete it, which is pretty nice. At the start of each day, you will get a new daily quest and you can complete it at any time. However, you only have 3 daily quests available to you at any given time, so if you hit your cap, you will stop accruing daily quests. So yeah, make sure you try to do as many quests as you can. I know a lot of people don't have a ton of time to do all this stuff, but just so you don't lose it, because this is very important for your free to play journey. You're gonna have to, unfortunately, do a little bit of grinding. Progress towards your quest is made automatically, so as long as you're in eligible game mode and accomplishing the in-game requirements of the quest, essentially as long as you aren't in a direct match with a friend, progress towards your quest can be made. Games against the AI, comic adventures, unranked matchmaking, and ranked ladder, coming soon, don't forget, coming soon, are all viable game modes to make progress on your quest. It's a major part of our philosophy that you get to play the game in the way that it was intended to be played, to channel your resources in trying to win by taking out your enemy leaders. As such, we have foregone the notion of quests that require you to do an outlandish things that may not be in the service of this goal, such as playing a certain number of cards in a single turn. The idea is just to get a reward for playing a few games. So you're not gonna have to do these like wild things like like some weird challenges, or like you need to like specifically activate like 20 lightning bolts in one game type of situation. These are something that you should be able to just complete by playing the game normally, just playing out a few games. You know, oh, okay, it looks like I'm completing my quest. But however, there are still subtle incentives that might allow one of your decks to complete a given quest faster than another would. For example, there are quests for playing a certain number of either bronze or gold cards, or playing a certain number of recruits, or a certain number of actions. So yeah, so if you have like decks that are like more aggro based, so that means that probably have more recruits in there, then you might want to switch to that to, you know, finish out that quest faster. Or if you're playing like some spell ramp deck like the one that we just uploaded, or it's going to be uploaded later on today, you know, those have more gold cards, so you might want to play a deck like that in order to complete those quests a little bit quicker, you know. Now, similarly, we want you to, by and large, play with the decks you want to play with, which I feel like is very important. It sucks when you have to just make like a specialty deck just to do a quest. So it's nice you can just play the decks you want for the most part. We have quests that require you to play with the intended or indicated faction. This might occasionally give you a little excuse to put your tier 1 deck down and mix it up with your tier 2 pet deck for a change. But hopefully it won't be too annoying. We also don't go as far as to ask you to play one specific deck, say Green Lanterns within a given faction, which is really nice. So you know what, you're not forced to play Arkham, even though you guys are all playing Arkham if you're free to play for the most part. Yeah, so you won't have to do any of that other stuff. So, but yeah, you might need to just like, oh yeah, if you want, I haven't really tried Might or anything. This will kind of incentivize you to try new things a little bit, but they don't want you to go like 120% into having to play something you've never played before. They still want you to be able to play your decks as much as possible. We realize that hyper-specific or almost achievement level quests may be fun and appealing to some players. I'm not saying there won't ever be an outlet for that sort of experience, but for the time being, we are striving not to reinvent the wheel, but to offer a reliable quest system that will be satisfactory for a broad range of our players, and focus around a primary goal of helping players grow their collections simply by being a part of the DC Dual Force and playing games, which is very nice. You know, they don't want it, you have to be like an achievement hunter in order to get any of these quests. They just want like the general player to be able to do this, especially if you don't have a lot of time to go there. So they just want to make these just like a nice quick experience, get yourself a little extra dual coins in your bank account, and you know, be able to buy a couple other packs. But you know, if seeing like actual achievement things is really something you would really want to see from the game, like you want to have those specific goals, you know, like, you know, play the 20 lightning bolts in a game type of situation, you know, give them the feedback, you know, respectively, of course. And you know, they're very receptive, you know, devs. They want to make sure the game is as good as possible. They want to make sure that people like the game that they're playing. So if this is something you want, then make sure you speak up in a respectful manner. Remember, these are people. You don't want people coming up to your McDonald's job and start yelling at you for 3 slices of cheese, and you're like, bro, there's 3 slices of cheese here. No, I don't see the second try. You don't want any of that. You don't want any of that. So just avoid the situation. Treat them how you want to be treated, all right? But yeah, as a last note, you will have the ability to re-roll 1 daily quest each day, replacing with a brand new quest. We hope you will find quests a fun new way to build your collection, while also providing an excuse to explore your collection and occasionally try out a different faction. As always, we are open to feedback, and if we identify shortcomings in our quest system, we will strive to improve. Thanks so much for playing and being a part of our community. So yeah, like I was saying, like if you have any feedback to give them, I'll leave the public Discord in the description down below, and there's a feedback channel in there. Usually people kind of just use it to complain about balance changes, but I suggest using it for like actual improvements to the game. I feel like I trust them that they know how to, you know, eventually balance their game. They're just, you know, it takes time. You know, metas need to shift. You know, even things that you think are broken, it could just be that, you know, people haven't figured out like a deck that would actually be good in certain metas and push those type of decks that you hate out of the meta. So you just gotta give them some time. But yeah, I highly suggest using the feedback channel for actual improvements to the overall game. I'm sure that will really bring your spirits up for the game in general if you gave them their feedback. But yeah, that's gonna be all for today's video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like the video as well as subscribe to see more videos such as this, and turn on the notification bell so you're notified for whenever we upload a new video, whenever there's a new patch notes or another new fun deck. Also, we stream Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/Agent Space League, where we play all types of funsy meme decks and sometimes serious decks. So if you want to submit your own decks to be played on stream and maybe even be uploaded to the channel eventually, make sure you stop by and I'll check them out. So yeah, without further ado, that's gonna be all from me. I'll be blasting off, and I'll see you soon, Space Cadets. That video was pretty good, don't you think? Well, if you do, make sure you like the video and subscribe to see more just like it. But hey, that's gonna be all from me. I'll be blasting off, and I'll see you soon, Space Cadets.